I feel like I should have probably shaved for this.
Definitely. No. When was the last time you actually did shave?
God, probably 4 or 5 years ago was the last time that I had like a clean shaven face.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That would look weird.
Yeah.
little baby street bike.
Little baby bike.
Little mini bike.
Yeah.
Mini bike Tommy.
Old moped out here crushing it.
Oh man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Bathroom Break Podcast. I'm your host, Rab himself, and today my guest is none other than Street Bike Tommy.
What's up? Can I get a sound effect? It's like, bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, hell yeah, just like a revving bike, like a street bike.
Yeah. Wow.
What's up, dude?
Cold chilling, just kicking it,
Hell
hotel
yeah.
room style out here.
That's what I'm saying.
California dreaming.
Well, thanks for letting me come in and take a bathroom break in your hotel room.
Hey, pleasure is all on this side of the table.
I just put some heat in the other room there.
True story. We're closer now.
I love it. You were like Cossack was going in the bathroom. You're like, oh, that's fine if you shit. I was like, good, because I have to.
Knock it out, man. It's better to be comfortable. I don't want you,
Yeah.
I feel like some of the worst times I've ever had have been on like dates and stuff when you can't poop. Like, come on,
Dude, that's the worst.
I mean, come on. And to be honest, if you're really trying to like date, you should probably poop in front of your chick.
Oh, absolutely.
Get that right out of the way.
That was one of the first things I asked my wife, I, like on our first date. I was like, hey, did you fart in front of like your old boyfriend? She's like, no.
That's
I was
weird.
like, oh, that's a terrible relationship.
Yeah. I mean, as much as I like feel like I have to actually fart from time to time, like throughout a day, a week, whatever, like, and the stomach pain that comes with holding it in, no thanks.
Yeah. No,
Keep it moving. There's enough out here for me to find one that's okay with my butt.
I know, dude. Like when you're on a date and there's just a fart caught sideways.
Oh, yeah, and it's painful, like physically painful. And like, how are you supposed to be engaging and charming when you have bubble guts?
Yeah, she's all telling you a story. You're like, whatever.
Oh, I really got to fart. Yeah, oh man, yeah, I've seen that show.
I wonder how often that's like the thought process on a first date of just like, oh yeah, I really got to fart. Oh yeah.
You too? Yeah.
So well, thanks for letting me relieve myself here.
No doubt, man. It wasn't bad. It hasn't hit me, so I feel like it was far enough away. We're good.
Yeah.
It was good. You had a very solid diet for the day. The smell was not pungent.
Yeah, just a fast food diet. All fast food,
Same.
really.
Yeah.
I do the stop at McDonald's, then go right over to Wendy's move.
I would. So I would get McDonald's for the fries, obviously, and Wendy's does have the Baconator. Come on, let's stop playing. Let's stop playing.
Dude, we were talking about the good move at fast food restaurants. So you get the burger at In-N-Out.
Oh yeah.
Then go over to McDonald's, and you got to say to McDonald's, hey, can I have fries with no salt?
Really?
So then they have to make a
fresh
fry.
Yeah.
And then you just salt them yourself.
Yeah, that's a move. I haven't done that yet. I tend to like the fries at McDonald's no matter what. And I also like the McDonald's mixture of Coca-Cola.
Oh, just for some reason, it's
McDonald's
the best
Coke
version.
is like the very best version.
Yeah.
Don't know what it is.
We're doing something right.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Like, I got it in Japan because it was like you're eating, like, I want to eat the local cuisine, but then a nice McDonald's burger kind of helps.
You don't want to eat the local cuisine for every meal.
Right.
Because, like, you do that, you interrupt your system. We're back to the poop thing again. It's
just instant.
It's a bad look.
Yep. So, hey, all these foreigners. Hey, good to meet you.
Yeah, I'm not doing any favors for Americans here, but whatever.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's good. So what have you been up to, dude?
A lot.
Yeah.
The schedule has been full. Since Nitro is more of a touring company now, they just do a lot more touring. It's not so TV and movie oriented. Yeah. And like they just kind of put all their eggs in that basket, and I don't really fit in with that because like my job on tour is just kind of like Street Bike Tommy, and I'm all
How you doing?
Everything that I did for the show and the movies and all that stuff was always a one take thing. You know?
Yeah.
You absolutely know. But I couldn't recreate what I brought to the table, you know, and
in a big venue like that. You mean, yeah.
But I mean, even if I did, it would be one night, and the tours are every single night, back to back to back, and I would just die if that was.
Yeah,
I wouldn't survive that.
I think that would be the thing. I
mean, so I was getting a little tired of tour life, and they were kind of getting a little tired of me not really doing anything because for real, I wasn't writing. You know, and I was kind of like a third MC. So when the MCs would actually do the big parts and stuff, I'd jump in there every once in a while and go, "Oh, it's there's only so much that you can do."
Hey, you got a good ooh and a good ah.
Oh shit, you see that? But you know, so that kind of started to not be my gig. So I had a great idea that I had been kicking around in my head to start a restaurant because I got a Traeger grill out of nowhere. I just kind of bullshitted my way into getting a Traeger grill because super long story, but it's a good one because I happened to be at Travis's house out here in California. He's got one out here too because Lindsay, his wife, is originally from here. And I don't know how he was getting one dropped off, but he was getting a Traeger grill, which I had never heard of before in my life.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Yeah, so it's a wood pellet smoker. So it's a smoker.
Oh wow!
But it's just wood pellet fed for the fuel source, and you just set it, and it gets to the temperature. It stays at the temperature, and it just smokes. It's like an outdoor oven that smokes.
Yeah,
super easy.
Yeah.
But I had never really cooked before. I was super Mama Celeste pizzas and the standard
the
fare.
good stuff.
Right. Yeah. So I'm at Travis's house, and this dude shows up to drop off that grill, and the kids are kind of crying, and Lindsay's kind of mad at Trav because Travis is trying to do this grill thing, and standard relationship stuff.
Yeah.
But he was like, "Hey man, you mind dealing with this grill and get it set up, because I got to handle this, because family first."
Yeah.
So I was like, "Yeah, no worries." So I start talking to the Traeger guy that's dropping it off. I'm like, "Hey man, this thing's pretty nice." I'm looking it over. I'm like, "It looks well made, and it's got cool wheels, something off a rollerblade skate or something." And I'm like, "Sweet." I've never seen a grill that looks like this. You just normal. You walk around Home Depot, you see the Webers and stuff, and you're like, whatever.
Yeah.
But I was really interested in how nice this thing was, and I heard about wood pellet stoves that people heat their houses with and stuff. So, but I'd never heard of a wood pellet smoker for food. And after I get talking to this guy for a while, I'm just trying to identify, because when you have conversations with people, you try to, bro down a little bit. And I'm like.
Pretty meat. Yeah, meat.
He's saying all these recipes and stuff that he loves to cook, and oh man, I love it when I do this to steaks and I do that to steaks. And I was like, well, I mean, I like this and I like that, and I started saying all these things because I go to fancy restaurants and stuff on the road.
Yeah, right.
So I start taking kind of claim for these dinners that I've had that I'm like, oh yeah, I like to cook and I like to do this and I like to do that with gorgonzola cheese on top and drizzle with balsamic glaze. And
he's
eating
I've read this on a menu somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. So I kind of bullshit my way into him thinking that I cook. And he was like, hey man, you got social media? And I was like, yeah. And Instagram was kind of new at the time.
Yeah.
And he's like, what's your Instagram? And I was like, oh, it's 13,000. He's like, oh, you want one? I'm like, you mean give me one? He's like, yeah, we'll ship you one. I was like, all right, bet.
Hell yeah.
He sends me one out to Maryland. I get home and it's waiting for me with a crate full of pellets and all kinds of stuff. And I was ready to rock and roll.
Yeah.
I do a set of ribs on it, mess them up because I read the instruction wrong, because it comes with a book of recipes proprietary to how this thing cooks. and I got ribs again the next day, and I tried them again. They were perfect, and I was like, "Oh my god, I can make my own restaurant food at home." You know?
Yeah.
And like I started cooking for my friends, and everybody started being, "Oh man, this is really good. It's the best I ever had." Blah blah blah. And like I started getting brisket, and brisket's like as far as like pitmaster, like brisket is the gold medal meat, like that's the bragging meat.
It's like if you do it right, it's incredible, but if it's not right, then it's like
real bad.
Yeah.
So I get really into it, right? So I start like befriending all these people on social media about like pitmasters and stuff, and I'm seeing what they're doing, and I'm kind of asking them questions and stuff. And it leads me into like kind of like having a passion for smoking meat, like really getting into barbecue. And so that led me to have the idea to start my own restaurant after, years of that, like probably 4 or 5 years. And especially I did an apprenticeship when I got real into it, like when I was like ready to pull the trigger.
Damn, this is crazy. You went from like microwave pizzas to like, dude. I'm in it.
Yeah. 4 years.
Yeah.
Like I had 4 or 5.
But I mean, you got like obsessed with it. I think that's what it takes.
Dude, and like I was like head down, and I was so obsessed when I did my apprenticeship. When I tell you that, who I did my apprenticeship under, here's another funny story. Around Traeger. Traeger had me out because I started posting and tagging and posting and tagging. Traeger was so pumped, they invited me out to the headquarters in Salt Lake, Utah. And
nice.
That's where I met my master sensei, Cameron True.
Oh, yeah.
One of the best pit masters in the whole world, man.
Damn, so he's like won awards and stuff?
He's won some grand championships. And,
hell yeah.
I think he's got a Royal or 2 or something like that under his belt, but he's got tons of awards. And like when Traeger had me out to their headquarters, Cameron picked me up from where I was staying in Holiday with my buddy Crumb, and took me to the headquarters, and we got bullshitting, and we hit it off right away.
Yeah.
And then they had me there, and Cam fed me some of his brisket at the headquarters, and I was like, basically, like I bit into it, and I looked at him like he was a wizard. Like I was like, how did you do that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'd never had brisket that good in my life. Like I was like, how did you do that? And he was like, ha, ha, ha. I was like, no, really, like, for real. Like, what temp do you do this? What temp do you do that? When do you do this? When do you do that? And he was like, that's not how you really do it. They tried to tell me that he doesn't use a thermometer. And you're like, whatever. Like,
yeah.
You can't not temp meat. Like, what temperature do you pull? It's like, it's not like that. Like, every brisket's different. Like, it really is.
Wow.
It's an art form.
Yeah.
And I found that out over the course of time. But I kept, after I got his phone number, I was like all the time just texting him,
just bugging him. Yeah.
He got so fed up with it. He was like, you know what, man, just come out to my restaurant, work in my restaurant. You'll touch, 20 to 30 briskets a day.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. And, at that point I'd cooked 4, 5.
Oh shit. Yeah.
So like you're talking like 20, 30 a day. So I was like, you know what? I don't think he understands how serious I am. Like I flew right out there, and here I am on his doorstep, bags in hand, like, hey man, like, he's like, I didn't think you were really serious, but sure.
Yeah.
So I stayed in his basement in Utah.
Damn.
And I started working at his restaurant in Orem, Utah. It's in Orem. That's where Bam Bam's Barbecue, his restaurant, is. And I actually did everything from sweeping the floors, doing dishes, even salting the parking lot because it was snowing at the time. Like it was like January. And I did everything. But then I was trimming meat, and I was, serving customers.
Yeah.
I was running the register, and that's where I got all of my like how to cook bulk meat, like that restaurant style. And then once I did that, it was probably 6 months go by, and I had a couple people that were, they said that they were going to invest in me starting a restaurant. And then it just, everybody was dragging their feet. And I was like, I'd gotten tired of tour, and I got tired of just hearing it from everybody else. So out of my own kitchen in my own house on the Traegers on my back deck, I started cooking all this barbecue up, and I just put it out on social media. I was like, hey, I'm not going to tell you exactly where I live, but it's somewhere in Davidsonville, Maryland. Just look for the sign that says BBQ. and I put a big piece of plywood out in front of my yard, and just with red spray paint, I put BBQ in big letters.
Yeah.
And dude, I did that, and I thought nothing was gonna happen because the next day is when I said that I was gonna sell barbecue for the first time to the public.
Yeah.
And I didn't tell anybody the address. And then on top of it, we had a snow emergency. That night, snow just dumped. And schools were closed, businesses were closed, the government was closed, and here I am with a line of cars.
Damn.
In my driveway, dude, and I sold out in like an hour.
Oh, that's
with
awesome.
Everything that I could make, and I was like, dude, there's something to this. I did that 3 weekends in a row, and and then I got really concerned about the health department coming down on me because like I wasn't a business. And like I'm serving food.
Yeah, then it starts getting real. Yeah.
And I didn't want the tax man coming after me, So a couple of friends of mine that own bars and restaurants said, "Hey, why don't you just do a special night here?" So I do like these pop-ups. And,
hell yeah!
One of my buddies owns a donut restaurant, Sandy Pony Donuts, and we went to high school together, and he has his own proprietary donut blend, and like tons of toppings. They're awesome donuts. And I started making brisket and pulled pork donut sandwiches.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So they were so fire. And I did that twice.
Yeah, that sounds good as hell.
Yeah.
I'm hungry. Dude, so, man, that like donut sandwich mixed with
it's
brisket?
Like sweet and savory. Yeah. Brisket. And my brisket has like that really nice bark on it. So it does have that like really.
Oh my God, I'm hungry, dude.
You don't understand.
I was originally going to come down to Loony Bin BBQ, and that's the name of your shop there. I was originally going to come there, and I'm thinking, oh, we'll be eating that the whole time while we're doing a podcast.
Dude,
but
if you come out to Maryland, I'll make sure I hit up my buddy and get some donuts brought in so we can actually have those. Yeah.
Yes,
because they're so good.
Oh my God, sounds amazing.
Good.
So what kind of donuts he does? Like all the different types of.
So like the donut itself, how like some have like the real light and airy, fluffy donut, and then like some have like that dense cake donut. Mm-hmm. This is kind of like it's a cake donut, but it's very light. It's not like a fluffy light, but it's definitely a very light like cake style donut.
But it's enough to like act as a bun, basically.
Oh yeah. We were using 2 of them, and they just kind of. Like, because like the fluffy ones, like if you use like a Krispy Kreme style donut,
mess,
it's just like there's not a lot of substance there. Like once you smush it, it's just like a thin little So, but it actually has enough like consistency to kind of be a sandwich. And my brother he even put toppings on them. Like he was like, get them chocolate sprinkles, Dude, oh, it's so funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you did some pop-ups and you went over to this spot and then a couple places like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I love this because it's like the story of. Legitimately, like when I thought about that BBQ sign, when you're down south or wherever and you roll by something like that, you're like, that's good, that's gonna be really good, so that's cool that like how just from kind of grassroots approach to it.
And it's just like when you don't like, for me personally, like because I've always been just everybody blows smoke up your ass. You know what I mean? No matter
Never experienced it, but yeah. This game called Hollywood.
Yeah. When you want to do a project, do it. Don't. And even like, okay, you're not going to get funding or whatever, and it's not going to be your vision to start with, but do what you can to start. Just start.
Yeah. I mean, it's even this podcast. I was telling you how, like, the first one, we shot it on a phone, And then it's like, I mean, it's obvious if you go back and watch it, but it's just, and then all of a sudden Cossack gets involved, and then he's got, he's doing cameras and doing this, and it's like, and then it starts becoming something.
And then you capture my
the
tan.
essence.
Yeah, the glow perfectly.
Yeah.
These pipes.
Yeah.
Very crisp pipes.
So it's cool, though, that, I mean, that you were willing to just go for it.
Yeah, and it's just like, I really wanted my own economy because I got really tired of kind of relying on that because it was a salary,
Please, sir, may I have a little more?
Right. And like no matter how good I did or like if I was just kind of like putzing around, it was the same Same dough either way. And I the one thing in my life that I really can't stand is routine. Like when I start feeling like I'm doing the same thing every day, I gotta change it up because that's not why we're here.
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
Like when you hear stories of people doing things, the same job for 50 years with the same people, it's like,
man, that's what you did.
Like, I mean, I respect it. Like that's what you want to do, but for me, man, that just sounds like a waste.
Yeah, it's scary. I think that I've been afraid of that, most of my life, and that's what kind of has led to traveling the world and doing all these different things because it's like other people will look at it like that's risky, but to me, I feel like it's risky to just stay in one place and do that. It's like less of a risk for me because you just feel, I'm just going to go after this and try this, you know? Yeah.
And you're making the most of your time. That's the biggest thing for me is that for I have this clock in my head that's just constantly ticking, and you're not getting any of that back.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Like,
so make the most of that for sure. Yeah. And the crazy thing is, dude, you just never know. I mean, we both have lost some close friends. And you just never know how much time you got here. So make it count,
It's insane. Like right before I came out to this show, like I got a kick in the pants again. I actually lost my closest friend ever since we were kids.
Oh, shit.
Unfortunately.
Sorry to hear that, man.
I appreciate it. But it's just that reassurance that I'm doing the right thing, even though it gets hard. You know what I mean? Like you don't always have the money for things that you want to do, or like, oh no, I'm stressed out because I got to do this with my funds, or like I haven't seen these people in a long time. I got, what I mean? Because I like to keep those connections too.
Yeah. But it gets hard if you have the secure job and all that stuff. That gets hard too.
Yeah. It gets way hard. So why not do?
Yeah. Either way, it's gonna like life is gonna kind of challenge you like that, regardless of if you play it quote unquote safe or if you take the chances and go out and explore and do the things that you want to do. And
I've always wanted to be functional too. I've always wanted to have like a laundry list of abilities.
Oh yeah.
Like I like things that people would have never thought that I would have done, as a heavier guy, like skydiving.
Oh, yeah.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Huge, that was one of the best things I've ever done in my entire life.
It is a lot of fun. I only ever did it with the tandem.
Yeah.
But
lucky.
I did.
I couldn't.
Oh, you can't? So you just have to go for it?
Too fat.
Oh, man.
Because like me plus a dude on my back, they just don't have those rigs laying around.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's not very many big dudes that want to...
Well, you're not that big.
Well, too big for skydiving.
Okay,
skydiving, for rental gear, they don't want you... they don't want you at 260, but that's like their max. At most sites.
Yeah.
Like when I did jump, I was like right around the cusp, and because I don't have the highest success rate for my stunts.
What do you mean?
So, I was like kind of weighing that, and I was like, let's just do the safest thing possible. And I didn't want to stress the gear.
Yeah. My track record indicates some disaster.
Probably gonna try to do the same thing. So they actually have something called a tunnel AFF, and it's wind tunnel, the indoor wind tunnel. So if you can fly in the wind tunnel, they take you up and you can jump by yourself.
Because that's part of the training for it, right? Or whatever. It's funny, like you said, you went by yourself. One of the first time, or the first time I had the opportunity, I didn't do it. I chickened out. But we were down in Rio, in Brazil, with Bob Burnquist.
Yeah,
and
he's a skydiving.
Yeah. And they're going up and they're going to jump and they're like, Rab, come on, just do it. I'm like, I've never done this before. And they're like, you'll be fine. I was like, nah, dude, I'm not gonna. I was and I don't even know how to do it. And I was like, what if I pass out in the middle of the air?
Well, they got the.
Yeah, I don't know any of this. So I'm questioning this. They're like, you'll be fine. I was like, I'm sorry, guys. I got to chicken out on this one. So I did chicken out, and I eventually did it with the tandem thing. But I kind of wish I did it.
I don't know, man. Dude, you're probably in Brazil.
Yeah, it was above the Cristo statue thing. Dude. It would have been such a rad jump, but
there's a lot to jumping.
Yeah,
like, that's one thing that I learned when I did it was like, I would never want to just jump out. You know?
That's what they seem to be so confident about it. Like, come on, Rab, you'll be fine. I'm like, well, no. I have no idea. And once you do jump, then you know, like, oh, that's what it is. I'll probably be fine. I could probably do this by myself. Or, I mean, you know, if I did a little bit of the training in the wind tunnel.
When you learn how to fly free fall is like, because like, I knew, like, I had hours in the wind tunnel, hours.
Yeah.
Even prior to the AFF. And, when I was in there, I was like, yeah, no big deal. And I could fly around in the tube. But as soon as I jumped out and, like, I was like, yeah, stable. And I did my, like, little tests and turns and stuff and flips or whatever. And, like, they're like, all right, now, you know, throw your chute. So I, like, reach back, throw my chute. And I'm like, poof. I'm like, damn it, I don't know what to do now. And like now, nobody's around me. Like
you're on your own. Yeah. Like, everyone's kind of
like, you know, watching everything that you do, and they're like really keyed in on you. You're like, oh, you get these serious eyes from everybody, and they're making sure. Yeah. You know, and you're like, all right, I feel reassured. You know, I got these guys here. Like you know, for some reason,
adios.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, poof, and like you're alone, and it's quiet.
Yeah.
And like I'm like looking up at this canopy, and like you got these cords, and you're like, I'm gonna pull this and then I'm gonna pull this, and then like I was like, and then like I feel like jump, and you're like,
Dude, that is the part of it though, because the free fall is like, it almost doesn't feel real, so you feel like safe, and then that part you're like, all right, like get me down,
and then you're hanging, from just some straps. You know? And then, like, you're looking around, you got nothing but time, because, like, I have a huge chute. Like, mine's almost comical big.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, so it's just like, boom.
A slow descent.
And it's just putting around, and, like, oh, man. Like, you feel any turbulence at all, you're like, oh, is that normal?
Yeah.
Oh, but, dude, it was so fun.
Did, like, as far as the landing, had you sort of practiced what it is to land? So so that's what I wondered.
Yeah.
Like,
and I smoked myself on the very first landing. I flared, like that's what they call it when you come in. You want to cup the like at the right time. You want to grab both toggles, pull them all the way down. Yeah, and it cups the chute and it stalls you. So it's like you come in at the right time, and you're carrying that heat. And then it just goes poof real quick, and then like it slows you down for that second, and that's where you touch down like la 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 la.
Yeah,
I did that too high, and then like after you do it, and if you're not landed, it picks right back up that speed.
Oh yeah,
and there's nothing you can do about it. So you only get one shot at that flare.
Oh, for real? You have to time that right.
So like I mistimed it, and then I started picking up speed again, and by this time I hit the ground, fall on my face. You know, and I misjudged where I was at, and I got drug across the runway on my chest, and it tears the chest strap of this rental rig, and it breaks the chest strap because I got road rashed myself across the thing, because this parachute's still going.
Yeah.
The parachute is still pulling me across this runway, and then it pulls my reserve chute.
It's funny, but probably horrible.
Oh, dude, it was hilarious.
Yeah.
And then, like, the reserve chute also gets pulled, so it, like, pulls my reserve chute, so I'm, like, landing, and my reserve goes boink, and, like, shoots up over my head, gets tangled up. Oh, man.
Is there footage of this somewhere?
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, I want to see that. That is hilarious.
Yeah, I think it's on YouTube somewhere.
But you didn't break an ankle or anything, so that's good.
No. I did crash properly.
Yeah, because I feel like you can break your ankle pretty easy. Yeah.
Knees.
Yeah.
You can mess your back up.
Yeah. Get hurt bad. My brother's an orthopedic surgeon. Yeah. He's like, dude, I see so many people come in from like skydiving stuff, and both times actually, I went twice, and then the one time was like that poof, nice little like flare. Land, and then because we were so slow, it was like basically like you're just and then the other time put legs up and slide on your butt, like did that kind.
I don't know if I could do that. I'd be
just drag your balls along the
air. I don't have that dexterity.
Like, hope you have the right support on your athletic supporter.
Right. Dude, that would suck.
Just leave your balls back there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. So you're digging that kind of that lifestyle of saying, hey, let's take chances, let's try some things, let's enjoy life.
Got my CDL. I like to drive big trucks.
Oh yeah.
I love racing rally cars. Like I did a stage rally.
Hell yeah.
I like going fast at a couple schools. I went to Dirtfish.
Nice.
Out west.
Dude, I kind of love how that happened where a lot of action sports guys that were either like, on motorcycles or even like skateboards, like Bucky Lasik and
Bucky's huge into the rally.
Yeah, and like and everyone kind of went into that world too, and then kind of translated the
It's got some longevity, those sports where you're just kind of out there exposed to the elements, if you will, like on a motorcycle or skateboard or, whatever it is. If you don't have something to protect you from your crash other than yourself, it's hard.
Yeah, protect you. That isn't going to protect you very well.
Yeah. So what's nice about rally is that you are in a car and you're in a cage. You have 5-point harnesses, helmets, and all that stuff. But
so you ended up rolling a car, like in high school. You rolled your Ford Explorer.
Yeah, that those were the days, man. Like that's when I had a ton of pepper, and
that was like on accident. It just happened, or is it because you were pushing the limit?
I was pushing the limit. Didn't know much about driving. But I thought I was the fastest driver in the world at the time, and not to blow smoke up your ass or anything, but back in those days we used to sit around my house, watch your guys' videos.
Good. So we inspired some.
There would be no Street Bike Tommy if there was not you guys. Like we had them all, man. Had all the DVDs.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Back in the day, man, like we used to we used to sit around like groups of us and watch all the CKY stuff.
Hell yeah.
All you guys doing all that stuff, and known Cossack for you, man. Like even Jack, everything. Like we paid attention to literally the whole spectrum.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Just watching DVDs, drinking beers in the backyard. It's what inspired me to go out, and I bought a little handy cam. Had went out and got the
that little guy,
mini DV.
Yeah, the Sony or whatever. I think. Yeah.
Little guy.
Yeah.
And that's what the foam pit miss from what got me started in all of Nitro Circus.
That was shot on one of those little guys?
That camera, yeah.
Yeah, because, dude, that shit was
bro.
Crazy.
Yeah. I'd never jumped anything in my life ever.
So you just talked it up like, I got this.
Well, kind of. I didn't know Travis, Like,
oh, yeah, okay. So how did you connect with him? Like how far away did you grow up from him?
I grew up 10 minutes from him.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But I didn't know him until just outside of high school.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when he started filming for the original Nitro Circus DVD that he was putting together. With Godfrey Entertainment.
It was called something else, right?
It was called, he had done a couple videos with Greg Godfrey of Godfrey Entertainment. Which was Children of a Metal God.
Yeah.
And he did some stuff with Krusty Demons of Dirt. But he was starting his own thing right around the same time that I was kind of coming in my own, I was like, I'm going to be famous.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like these guys. I wanted to be you guys so bad, man. And I was like, I'm gonna film everything that we're doing because it's so funny and we're so awesome.
Yeah.
So me and my friends just started kind of doing what you guys were doing.
Dude, that's the best too. Yeah. I mean, I feel like when people would say stuff like that, like, "Oh, we were doing that," I'm like, I know you were. It's just that we just happen to have a camera around.
Right.
So the best part is you had the camera, and then you can film it. You know.
Now that we're talking about it, it really surprises the hell out of me. There's no next generation with like if I had a cell phone.
Yeah.
That was capable of doing.
Oh, I know.
Could you imagine?
Dude, I mean, it's almost too easy now.
Yeah.
That, like a bit of having to work for it and struggle for it kind of made it part of the adventure.
And it gave us that longer format too. I think nowadays, where technology's going, you're getting more and more stuff like TikTok.
Yeah.
You know, those real quick banger videos. And it's like...
Yeah, people are just not even trying to sit back and watch it. It's like, what is it right now or I got to go?
You're missing those, like, nuances, like the voices and stuff that you used to do.
Yeah.
Crack me up, man.
That's awesome.
Like, you're missing that you know, that magic, I think, today from technology, unfortunately, but I wouldn't trade it. Like, I do like where things are going. It's just
right.
It's kind of like Tarantino, you know. We were talking about him earlier off camera, but like he does things like that kind of old school way, capturing things on film, and you know.
Yeah, and there's something about his movie that I was saying, like, you go and sit and watch a Tarantino, and for some reason it's instantly nostalgic.
Yeah.
Like I've never seen it before. It's brand new, but somehow I feel like nostalgic.
Familiar.
Yeah. And it is cool. I do like that, you know, that people are able to film stuff quickly and do that, and that's rad. But yeah, there was something about
that
having
magic.
having to kind of put it all together, and the edit. I always give credit to Bam for the edit of the CKY. Was that beginning kind of look at, like, hurry up and make it funny and then move on, and then, like, so that you missed it, so that you have to, like, rewind it and then rewind it again and rewind it, and
dude,
and that vibe is a good thing.
The best movie for me that, like, I didn't catch it all the first time, and I had to watch it probably 4 or 5 more times before I really really loved it, was Fight Club.
Oh yeah.
I remember the first time I watched Fight Club, like, I was just kind of like, all right, that's good. I watched it again, and I was like, oh man, that was awesome. And then I watched it again, and I was like, this is the greatest movie ever.
Yeah. And that's the coolest thing about it. Like, I feel like that just having that type of depth to whatever the project is really makes it have that lasting power and stick around, and you know, and you want to watch it. So you have this camera, you're filming all this stuff, and were you were always into street bikes, or you rode dirt bikes when you were younger?
I never rode dirt bikes. I mean, I had one, and you know, my dad, like, always tried to give us everything that we wanted, but, like, we never really had dough growing up. Like, so it would always come just a little bit later in life than when we could have, like, really executed and been, like, good with things. Like, I remember when I was a kid, I used to tell them, like, oh man, we would always be like, we want to go to space camp, we're going to go to space camp. And, like, you know, that's like 8 or 9, you know, we want to go to space camp. Here I am, 12, 13 years old. He sends us to space camp, and I was like, I don't want to leave. Like, I have all my friends. Like, I don't. What do you mean I'm going to Alabama for 3 weeks of my summer? What do you mean?
Oh man,
you know.
You finally got it, and you're like, I don't want to now. Man. Damn.
And it's kind of the same thing with the dirt bikes. You know, like, growing up, I had pictures on my wall of, like, motorcycle riders and stuff, and dirt bikes everywhere. And, like, we'd always stop in at the local power sports store. Yeah. And, like, I'd touch and feel and sit on it, but we'd never buy anything.
Yeah.
We ended up getting some dirt bikes, but I was 14. Like, I was planning on getting a car.
Yeah, right.
You know, like, I don't need this dirt bike. And then when we finally did get dirt bikes, like, he wouldn't let us, like, ride through the yard. Like, he was like, go out in the woods and chop trees down. Can I use a chainsaw? Nah, here's an axe.
An axe.
Come on, man.
So I'll be riding this bike like 3 weeks from now.
Like, the one spot that we were allowed to ride, we cut a trail after like 4 weeks of, like, chopping down trees. You know, like, always had, like, little spikes coming out of the ground.
Yeah. Oh, damn, that's gnarly.
Yeah, so we had trails, but they were junk trails, and it was always like, it was like right off the driveway that went down. You know what I mean? There was no real riding. Just kind of story of my life, man. Like, it was just like, you know, it is what it is. And I do the best of what I got, but you know, damn.
Yeah. So, so then, what got you into the street bike thing?
Just kind of wanting to be a Hellraiser, and it was the cheapest way to go the fastest I could.
Yeah. What was your first street bike?
Very first street bike that I ever got. I was still under my dad's roof, and that was a TL1000R.
What make is that?
Suzuki.
Oh, Suzuki. Okay.
It's a V-twin. It's a 1000, looks cool as hell. And, like, I had this bike, but I couldn't ride it until I got a license, you know, and, like, I couldn't, like, back in the, it was so hard to get a license. And then I needed some dough, so I sold it, and I never really rode it. It had, like, 68 miles on it, and it was just like me riding up and down the road.
Yeah.
But the first bike that I got on my own was when I first moved out of the house. 18 years old, moved to that house first time, went straight to the bike store, got a GSXR 1000, which I ended up trading for the bike that I flew over Travis's pit, because it wasn't too much longer after that happened.
Okay. Damn, so you were like 19, 20 years old when that?
Yeah.
When that happened?
In that gap. But like, so once I got this bike though, I was running from the cops all the time. Like,
oh shit.
Because I didn't have a tag, I didn't have insurance, I didn't have a motorcycle license. I got a car license, not a motorcycle license.
That whole thing.
Which is funny because funny story, I actually just got my motorcycle license last year.
What?
Yeah.
That was the first one?
Yeah, because I was like, I kind of need it. So, you know.
Oh, my God.
So,
I kind of got famous as Street Bike Tommy, and it's all illegal. Don't even have the paperwork to do it.
Yeah.
Dude, that's hilarious.
That's cool.
That's crazy.
The school is kind of funny.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Oh, the motorcycle school, you had to
hilarious.
Go back, yeah.
There were some kids that were like,
what?
They were like looking at me like, what the hell is he doing here?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, did he get it suspended? Like, nope, never had it.
And I'm sitting there like a custom painted Nitro Circus like sponsored lid.
Yeah,
I don't have a license, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So okay, so then how did you get a hold of Travis when you?
Well, so at the time, Jim DeChamp from the TV show, the one-handed clap guy.
Yeah.
He was living with Travis at the time, and he started dating a longtime family friend of mine.
Yeah.
And he came over to her parents' house where we used to always have like parties because they had a big piece of property, and cops would never get called. Like that's where we partied.
Right.
And so all my friends are over at that house, and he brings over this DVD, and in Sharpie it says Nitro Circus on it, and like all my friends are like, yo, do you see Jim? Stephanie's dating Jim DeChamp. He lives at Travis Pastrana's house. And like at the time, like this is when like Cribs came out.
Yeah.
And like Travis had just done MTV Cribs, and like that was like a huge deal, and like everyone was talking about it. Like, oh my God, it's so cool. You know, Jim's so cool. And I'm all like alpha of the group. I'm all like, whatever. He's not that cool.
Yeah,
whatever. So he plays the DVD that's like a rough cut, and he plays it for everybody, and like I'm like, in my head I'm like, that's kind of badass, but like it was like, it was like, oh my God, did you see that, and blah blah blah, and I'm like, man, if I had money, if I had what you guys had, I'd make a way better movie.
Yeah.
So Jim obviously being of the same realm, like kind of feeling alpha too, like all right, you do what? Like, you think so, do you? Like, how about you come over, put up or shut up? And I'm like, well, I don't ride dirt bikes. I got a street bike. He's like, well, it doesn't matter. Like, we're having a contest next week. And it's $2,000. You win $2,000 if you come up with the best footage. It doesn't have to. It could be anything.
Well, you did
right?
it.
Well, yeah. So, but like, here's the thing that he told me. He was like, I was like, well, I can't ride, because it was up against like the X Games champs of the time. Dudes that I watch on TV, and I'm like, I can't do anything that those guys can do. They're like, well, you don't have to ride dirt bikes. All you have to do is go out with your team into the world, come back and show us whatever it is that you filmed, and if everybody agrees that you had the best film, you win $2,000.
Damn.
And they were like, they explained it to me like, you could either have Travis doing a double backflip, which would be rad, right? Nobody had done it at the time. Or you could have went down to the local 7-Eleven and talked some chicken and doing naked jumping jacks. Like,
yeah.
Could be anything.
So you're like, I got this.
Yeah, no doubt. Like I'm because I film everything. I'm so cool with my handy cam.
Yeah.
And man, like that day, I went out and first thing first, I like went down to my house, and you know how like when you're put on the spot, like all your like awesome ideas now seem stupid.
Yeah, right.
And you get like writer's block. You're like, oh, that's dumb. We got to do something better than that.
Yeah.
Couldn't think anything. So like I jump in my everyday car at the time, which was a 1983 Lincoln Town Car.
There you go.
Yeah, and the previous owner had dropped a Mustang 5.0 motor in it.
What?
Yeah, why? But it like had some ponies, so like I just jumped in it, and like I loved this car, and I just couldn't think anything. I was like, you know, because we were just bouncing ideas off and saying, hey, no, that's stupid. This is Travis Pastrana we're talking about. So like, I was like, I couldn't think anything, so I grabbed the pillow off the couch, stuffed it into my shirt, and I put my street bike helmet on, and like I got in the car and I went down the street and I got like a good head start, and I just ran it right into a tree.
The car?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
For like who knows what reason.
Yeah.
Like, I just thought, oh, whatever, that'll be cool.
Yeah.
So I smashed into the tree, and like it hurt, but I was like, I'm still good. So like I put it in reverse, and the car's still kind of running, and I like backed up. I went even faster. Like I went fast, and I smashed my car, my everyday driver. Into this tree.
It's like for $2,000. It's like it's gonna cost more than that to fix it.
I wanted to win.
Yeah, you didn't give a shit.
I was like, that car's $300. Like,
yeah.
Whatever. I'm gonna, you know, this is for film.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Forever.
Oh, dude, that's the mindset.
Yeah. And then I fold this thing up, and the one thing that I didn't think about, like when you crash a car, my knees took out the dashboard. Like I just smushed my legs all up in the dashboard.
Yeah.
And like that sucked, but I was okay, and I fell out of the car groaning, like laughing, like that was awesome.
Yeah.
Whatever. And then like I went inside, I couldn't think of anything else, so I got my shotgun and I like shot the car all up. Right?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I can't think of anything, like, but it's kind of cool footage, I guess. And like, but now the tires are all flat, right? And I noticed the car was kind of low. Called up my buddy who's got a big lifted truck, and I was like, hey man, you think you can run my car over? He was like, oh, I'm gonna try. Brings his lifted S10 over. Yeah. And he tries to run over the Lincoln where it sat, you know, up against this tree. He managed to get up on it with his lifted S10.
Yeah.
But he blew out his rear end. So now we're a full car and an S10 rear end into this thing. And I was like, oh, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And at the time, I'd been running from the cops all summer. To the point where I'm just riding down the road doing normal stuff, just bowl. If a cop saw me, instant chase. I'm talking.
They just knew who you were?
Knew, because my bike was covered in fur.
Yeah.
I wrapped it in tiger print fur.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
The bike that I traded my bike for, this one was all scratched up, and I couldn't afford paint. Yeah. So I went and got 3M spray glue and a roll of fur from Joann Fabrics.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And yeah.
Dude, that's an awesome bike.
Yeah, dude, that was my baby.
Yeah.
But everybody kept telling me to take my bike out and go do wheelies, because I could do like 150 mile an hour fucking wheelies, you know.
150 mile an hour?
Yeah.
Holy
and like I could like
shit.
steer them through cars. Like I would go around traffic and stuff. Yeah.
Damn. So you had been riding for a little while at that point? Like, what gave you the confidence to do a fucking wheelie at 150 miles an hour?
Dude, funny story, man. I was just riding around. I liked riding my bike, and I liked going fast. But every single stoplight I got to, it seemed like, you know, when I first got my bike, there was always some little kid on the corner, and he could do a wheelie.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't know how. Like, you suck.
Yeah.
You know? I was like, whatever, little kid.
Yeah,
and so I just rode around for like 2 weeks.
Learning it, yeah.
Finally got it, and then it just progressed, and I got really good at it. So that's where like the high speed wheelies came from. And, you know, I was trying to pick up chicks. So that's pretty much what it was. And, you know, they kept egging me on to take my bike out that day. Take it out. You got to do wheelies. You know, you got to do something.
Yeah.
So I ended up taking my bike out. And next thing you know, I'm doing this long-ass wheelie. It's like 2-3 miles, something like that. You know, I'm doing wheelie. And out of nowhere, a cop jumps on my tail. You know, like, I wasn't worried because I was already doing 140, 150 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And, I was like, they're not going to catch me. Like, and I was like, didn't even think about it. And then, like, right around the 3-4 mile mark of doing a wheelie, one thing that you learn later in life, bikes aren't designed to run at high RPM like that, because it starved the top of the motor of oil.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I threw a valve. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, my bike comes down like I hear this pang, and like I got no power, and I come down super hard on that front tire.
Oh.
And I thought I was gonna crash, but then all of a sudden I got like half power. I'm like whoa, 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 and it's not like really going anywhere. It's like, and it's like clicking big time. It's like, I'm like, oh god. Now I got this cop behind me. I was like, oh no. So like I like take it off road and I cut across a median. I'm like,
what the fuck?
And I go down the other direction. Now the cop's going the wrong way on the highway, and I'm going this way on the highway. And like I can see him like super pissed, and he can't turn around because like I went down like this like gully and stuff.
Oh
like,
my god!
Couldn't do it in a car.
Yeah.
And then like I haul ass back to my house and like I hide it in the woods. Like I sling it in the wood, and my buddy who was filming the whole time like saw this whole thing go down.
Yeah.
And he like, we get in the woods and we get back to the house. He goes, dude, that was awesome. And like, cause he got the whole thing.
Holy shit!
Right?
What was he in? He was in a car, or
he was in a truck?
In a truck. Okay.
Truck. But
how the
like,
hell was he keeping up with the?
Because right where it happened, like I had planned on passing him.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You
okay.
know, so like it happened.
Yeah.
Where I wanted it to happen, but it all went down.
Dude, it's crazy you didn't wreck.
Right.
Like how the hell? So when that wheel came down, like how did you stabilize that? Like how did the fuck did that not wreck?
It wasn't skill, I'll tell you that much.
Not graceful, but damn.
But so we get it back and like they're like, dude, you got to do more stuff. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what else am I gonna do? I smoked my car, I smoked my buddy's truck, I smoked my bike. Like, I got what? I got nothing else.
Yeah.
Like, well, does it run? And I'm like, kinda. And like, so we were like, well, nobody's ever jumped a street bike, you know? And we loaded up in the back of my buddy's truck and we covered it up. So like the cops didn't see it. And like we drove it to Travis's house in the back of my buddy's truck. And the rest is history, man. Like that's the part of the video that made.
So that bike that you jumped on was already kind of fucked.
Oh, dude. You can hear it in the video.
Oh yeah.
Like
oh yeah. And
then I hit it and I crash, and like the funny part of the story is once I crash, I'm like laying there, you know, I need medevac, and like at the same exact time Travis had just gotten into some trouble filming as well, because he had fake shot his cousin Special Greg off of a bridge nearby. Like he pulled him out of the truck like bound and like covered, like had like a bag over his head. And like they had blanks, but nobody at this restaurant that's like right on the other side of this.
It's kind of gnarly. Yeah.
So like he like stands his cousin up and he's like, oh, whatever exchange, and like bang, shoots a blank, and his cousin falls off the bridge.
Oh shit, yeah, that's gnarly as hell.
So Travis gets in his truck, drives back to his house, and like people saw his truck because he had a very famous truck at the time.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, not only did the medevac call go out, but at the exact same time as like a for real like emergency call went out for Travis, and it all converged at Travis's house at the same time. So there was like a dozen cop cars.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah. A dozen cop cars, fire department, ambulances. Dude, and it was funny because all the cops show up and like they kind of like start asking like, what's going on? Like, what's going on? And like they see me on the other side of the foam pit and they see my bike and they were like, you finally got yourself, did you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They knew. They were like, well, we're not going to be chasing that anymore this summer.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like, you know.
That's so crazy that it all kind of happened at the same time.
And then that was one of two medevacs that day.
Wait, so they had two medevac?
Yeah. So all the cops were there. They saw the bike, and then they were like, we got you, basically, or you got yourself. And,
you definitely got yourself.
Yeah. So I was all, haha, you'll never catch me. But
sitting there with two broken legs.
Yeah. They actually, what's funny is all I did was break my left foot.
Oh, you did? I thought you broke two legs.
They say that, but I broke my left foot. That was the only real broken bones, but I did tear my ACL, MCL, PCL.
That's worse.
Yeah, I know.
That's way worse.
I detached my left calf. Like
what?
Yeah.
So it's way worse than two broken legs. So two broken legs will just heal.
Yeah. I still to this day have a detached left calf, and I have cadaver parts in this knee. But yeah. So they flew me out, and then like later, I didn't know any of this other stuff was going down, because I'm now in the hospital. going through x-rays and surgery and stuff. And then all of a sudden, I see a dude that I just met that day that I thought was cool, because I was just meeting everybody then, like literally on that side of the foam pit. Like, it was one of the very first times that I ever actually like shook Travis's hand. Hey, what's up?
Ow, hi.
He's like, oh God, please don't see me.
Yeah.
But but like out of nowhere, like this bed comes like scooting in. Hey man, I'm like, oh shit. And he's like in his like oxygen mask. He's like, hey Tommy, what's up? And I was like, Colin? And he was like, yeah man, we're good. And he's like in traction. like he's got the full rig. Like I was just laying there like, this sucks.
Yeah.
But like he comes in full traction, like it was a movie. Like he had his oxygen mask on and everything, and he's like, dude, what's up? And I was like, dude, what happened to you? He's like, oh well, the ramp van, after seeing you go, like I kind of went a little hard. And so what happened with him, you'll see in like the Nitro Circus 2.
Yeah.
This happened the same day. It was the afternoon of me missing the foam pit. Colin Winkleman, great BMX rider.
Yeah.
He had a van, like a conversion van. That, Nate Wessel, famous.
Yeah, I know Nate. Yeah.
Nate had built like a slight quarter on the front and a downside on the back. And the idea was that the van would be moving and Colin would just sit stationary and drive the ramp into him. Instead of him pedaling at a ramp and going up and then down, he would just stay in one spot, and he'd go up the van, down the van, but from sitting at one spot.
Yeah. Well,
I guess he was like, super amped up and was like, I got to make this good. And he took a couple pedals into the face of the van. And when he was coming, he like went super high up because he was going faster than he was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And because he went super high up, but the van was still going, now the van disappeared and he was just above the ground and just came straight down on asphalt and broke ankles. And I don't know exactly what it was. I think it was wrist, ankles, like stuff like that, but it actually had some real breaks.
Yeah.
And so we were kind of like laughing. Like,
you guys are like Days of Thunder in there,
For real. Dude, that's exactly what it was. It's exactly what it was. I never even thought about that. That's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
And it was funny because we had some really, really attractive nurses, and we were joking around, like hitting on the nurses.
Sponge bathing.
Yeah. Well, I kept saying, I was like, I gotta pee, and like, because I didn't have a catheter, they had to, make that connection.
Make that connection is right. Yeah.
So we were goofing off for the next couple of days, but it turns out we both won. Travis gave me $2,000 and also gave him $2,000.
Oh wow!
Because like they couldn't decide who really won. So
seriously. I mean, it's pretty gnarly on all fronts.
But that was how it all got started. That was day one.
Damn, day one, and then all of a sudden you're in the Nitro crew at that point.
Well, I still did a couple things after that. Like that was going to be like a one-shot wonder type thing, but Greg Godfrey talked to me on when they premiered the movie in Annapolis.
Yeah.
And it was one screen. I thought it was like super movie star,
Yeah.
One screen, private showing. Travis paid for it, to be on a screen. I thought I was killing it. But Greg Godfrey gave me his card and said if I ever wanted to do more stuff, give him a call. Flash forward a couple months, not even that long, I still had pins in my foot, and I was getting ready to go on a cruise. Just me and a couple buddies.
Yeah.
Just to go get drunk and, see the Bahamas.
Yeah.
I ended up having a great idea jumping off the thing. So
jumping off the cruise ship?
Yeah. Still to this day, black flag. Can't get on a Royal Caribbean cruise line. That's a long story in itself too.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that one another time.
Yeah. Well, so wait. So when you were going to jump the bike, like you had never jumped anything.
I did some like, little hiccup jumps that you kind of like dig.
So you had somewhat of a feeling of what it would feel like?
Not even close.
Because it is crazy. You missed it by like,
dude.
So like, I guess my question is, so I did this one shopping cart stunt. It was actually on the first episode of Jackass, and Bam, Bam skateboards.
Yeah.
So he he kind of got like the like, you know, the kind of trajectory of what was happening. And he was like, yo, he put the ramp at the one spot. And then there was a bush there, and he was like, all right, cool.
You're going to land there.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know, man, that ramp looks far. Like, you know, I was like, I don't think, like, it seems so far. He's like, trust me, dude, that's where it should be.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't think so. So I moved it up a little bit.
Did you overshoot it?
Yeah. And then I totally fucking overshot the bush and then ripped my rotator cuff and got all fucked up and ended up in the hospital.
Yeah.
All because I didn't trust it. I should have trusted him because he's been skating his whole life. He knew, like, no, dude, the speed that you're going to do, you're going to land right in the middle of the bush.
Right.
And then I went right over the bush.
I've always had the exact opposite.
Yeah.
My whole career, I've had the exact opposite.
Yeah.
I've always had, because, like, that first day, I actually didn't have anybody that knew what the hell they were talking about. It was just me and my shithead friends.
Yeah.
Like, because at Travis' house was ghost town because everybody went out to go film stuff.
Yeah.
Nobody was there. There was no professional riders around.
Oh.
And the only guy like I had any experience with was my buddy Wayne, who was actually filming.
Yeah.
He kind of rode dirt bikes at the time. Like
kind of. It's this blind leading the blind.
Well, yeah.
You'll be good.
Yeah. He was like, yeah, you're good. I was like, can I overshoot this? They're like, no, you'll just, you'll go higher, not further. You know? Because like the ramp, dude, was like,
you went
my
both.
brain, it's a straight up, straight up and down. Like that's my math. Like I was like, oh yeah, I'll just go higher, no big deal.
Yeah,
and dude, it was gnarly. Like everybody that was there kept telling me, oh, you can go twice as fast. You can go twice as fast. So that was the math I used. I actually went twice as fast because I jumped like the first time. I just went and like kind of
Oh, you did one?
Yeah, I did one. Like, because I'd never jumped anything, and I didn't know that I could even ride up that thing because it was like a.
So you did one that was just like a little.
Oh, and everybody's like, "You can go twice as fast." Famous line from that DVD. You can go twice as fast. That's my buddy Wayne. Bang!
Oh my God! Yeah.
But my whole career, like after that, like I've always been like, I'm going right there, and Travis, no way, you're gonna end up right there. Bang, like
way further than
always missing safety boxes and like always worst case scenario. And you can ask him, man, you ever talk to Trav, he'll tell you my gut's always been good. Stick with that gut.
Well, especially if you have a big ass wreck like that in the beginning of it, it's kind of like, all right. Well, it's crazy that you didn't get like gun shy from doing it after getting that fucked up right away.
I wanted to be so famous.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna be famous. I'm so famous. It's like you kind of don't really realize that, like, fortune doesn't always follow fame.
Yeah.
Throughout my career, it's always been funny because like I've never not worked. Like I've always carried a job throughout everything because I had to.
That was like Rake. Rake Yan always did that. He's a chemist.
Yeah.
And so then he just worked at GlaxoSmithKline forever.
Yeah.
He's like working on the cure for cancer while he's out there like taking dumps on whatever, and it's like, people at his job didn't know that he was the dude that was on it.
Right.
And then they'd be like, what are you doing? And he's like, I just need to take the day off. He's like, get that mustard out of here. And he always kept the job. But I mean, he's a smart one because when it all, kind of, not say went away, but when it kind of moved on,
it has waves.
He had his gig to always go back to.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much is like the only thing that's really kept me going is like the real work, because like the TV stuff's nice when it happens, but it's really expensive to be on the road in general. It's cool. You get to see the world. And it's on somebody else's dime. Like I wouldn't trade that for the world. But there's no real money to speak of. Like it's not like I'm out here chilling in like some multi-million-dollar mansion or anything. Like that.
Somebody's getting it. I don't know who.
Yeah. Well, I know because I've been to their mansions.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about anybody.
Yeah, we've been to their exotic mansions and driven in their
exotic cars.
Yeah, very exotic.
Yeah,
but not me myself. No, I think I think the misconception is that you do because you do get paid while you're working on it more so than you would for anything else. But like you said, it's kind of comes in waves, and so when you're shooting a show, it's like, damn, you're getting some good checks right there, and then it's like, all right, well, that was only 10 weeks.
Yeah.
And then
if you're
what
lucky.
About the other 42 out of the
yeah.
And but speaking of that, you just you've been on the road for the last basically
7 weeks.
Yeah.
I've been doing a new TV show.
Hell yeah.
That actually I haven't really talked about with anybody.
Are you allowed to? Or
yeah. I mean, what are they gonna do? Like, come on, man.
Sue me for what?
Yeah. And the only step back I could probably do is like actual jail time. So, but they're pretty cool. Like I've this is the first time that I've worked with Discovery Science.
Oh yeah, hell yeah!
This is the channel that we're gonna be on. It's me and Tori Bellici from MythBusters.
Yeah.
We're actually going around just blowing stuff up.
Shit, that sounds like the best job ever.
Right? Honestly, to this day, I think it's a joke because the original phone call was from Jeff Tremaine. So
yeah. So somehow you're getting set up for something.
Like, this is a really expensive joke, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that ball to drop, but it hasn't yet, and we're 3 days away from being done with our first season.
So there's 3 days left.
Right.
For something to happen.
We got 6 episodes.
Nice.
That we're doing. They're going to be an hour long.
Okay, cool.
And it's like kind of like the science of explosions as well as like the jobs that you can have in the field. So
you're really just blowing stuff up.
Yeah. It's called The Explosion Show right now.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And what type of like explosions are like?
Anything from like we've done some stuff with like mining, like you'll see some stuff like that's an obvious go-to.
Yeah.
But there's all kinds of stuff that you just wouldn't think of, and even like some fireworks and stuff like that. It's just different jobs surrounding the explosive world.
Yeah.
And just seeing some of the sciences behind it. We've done some stuff with New Mexico Tech. Out in New Mexico, Socorro. We spent 2 weeks if you ever go to Socorro, for any reason, I don't know why you would, because it's very small. Like the only reason.
That's in New Mexico?
Yeah. They got a really cool university out there that's kind of like, if you want to get into explosions, that's where you want to go.
Cool. And so, I mean, that sounds interesting, actually. Like, you probably learned a lot on that.
Dude. It's funny because my grandma on my dad's side would always get so upset when she'd see me because like I'd always be beat up
coming in and cast different
and she'd always like, oh my god, look at your face, look at your beautiful face. And like when I was a kid, like I wanted to be a scientist, like when I was a young kid, like, like, elementary, middle school, like I wanted to be a scientist, and like I always told her that, and like when I'd show up like with fresh, like my scars, face just hanging off the side of my head, swollen, hemorrhaged eye, all kinds of stuff. That's when I jumped off the cruise ship because she's down in Florida where I was coming back through, so I visited
hemorrhaged eye.
Yeah didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah, I didn't either. That's
so she's like looking at my
smack
face.
your face on the water.
Oh yeah, I messed it all up. Long story. Long story.
Yeah.
I don't think we have the card for that. But,
yeah.
Like I smack like concrete and like,
oh my god, how far is that jump?
I jumped off the very top of
course,
Royal Caribbean cruise line. I forget which one it was, but it was around 100 feet.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and all that's happening. I decided it's a great time to stop and see my grandma on the way home. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, hey. And she's like, oh, my God, look at your face. And she's like, I thought you wanted to be a scientist.
Yeah.
And like, now I am kind of.
Yeah. And now you're going along for that ride. Yeah.
I was really pumped because I never actually graduated from high school or anything. So,
oh, yeah. So now you get
to do this stuff. It's really cool. Like, it's really cool.
Yeah, that's incredible. So they do have like the professional scientists that are kind of guiding you through the whole thing and teaching you. And
yeah, if they didn't, not already blown myself up like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. You know, that could be quite dangerous.
You'll see a few hairy situations on the show.
Oh, shit.
Because like I was just goofing around, and apparently it's not very funny to throw explosives.
Yeah. You probably don't want to goof around with things that blow up.
Yeah.
Especially with your track record of
no success rate.
Failure. Yeah.
0 success. But yeah, you'll see on the show there's a couple times where I get yelled at.
Oh shit.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. So tune on in. It's gonna be on Discovery Science.
When do you think that'll? You're just shooting now, so it'll be a little while.
It'll probably be February.
Oh wow, okay, so that's kind of a quick turn, yeah.
Yeah, around February, 2020.
Yeah.
So
nice, dude. Really, well, congrats with that. Thanks. That sounds fun and cool, and
it's been a real change of pace to like wake up and see a call sheet that I'm not scared to death of.
Yeah, you're like, I'll be all right.
Yeah.
Although you got some close calls, you managed to find danger.
Yeah. It's been very fun though. Like Nitro days, especially when we did our 3D movie. I don't know if you've ever caught that. It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
But on that one, I legit, there was 3, almost 4 very distinct times when we did just the movie that I, for really real, in my head, accepted that I was dying.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And if you've never had that happen in your life, it's probably a good thing. But honestly, like, if you can, like, I don't wish anybody death, but, like, to be close to it, you find out a lot about yourself.
Yeah.
Like, I for real, like, there's been...
Some clarity comes within those moments. Yeah.
You're just like, man, what am I doing?
Yeah.
You know, you change things, and it just makes you a better person.
Yeah. No, I know. That is crazy. Yeah. Yeah, I've had some close ones, and it's just... it's
been fun to watch.
Yeah, it's a gnarly thing, and it does kind of help you renegotiate the path a little bit. But but that's awesome, man. So that'll come out in February.
Yeah.
And then in the meantime, you're hard at work with Loony Bin BBQ.
Yeah. I actually, when I fly home, I get right back to it. I'm going right back to the restaurant, and I actually am in the restaurant cooking, serving. It's not just something that is, got my name on it.
Yeah.
It's owned by me. Like, it's not somebody else.
And you're doing it,
And it's doing it. Like,
that's right, because we kind of jumped around, and I like that because things come up. But when you were talking about the apprenticeship, like, then where, like, how did you go about getting the shop, and like, how did that?
Well, it's funny because like the dude that I did the apprenticeship under, Cameron True, he actually gave me my start, like handed me his food truck.
Oh, damn. So you started with a food truck first.
I went from my kitchen to my buddy's restaurants to his food truck.
Hell yeah.
And he did that out of the goodness of his heart.
Dude, that's awesome.
It wasn't, like I had plans to buy it. But after, you get going and the struggle's real, and I dumped a ton of my own money into just making it nice.
Yeah.
Because it did need a little work.
The truck?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
To get it where I wanted it. And, I dumped a ton of money, like probably 30, 40 grand of my own money into repairing this truck. Because, like, once I got it moving, because he didn't really use it that much.
Yeah.
And here I am driving it from Utah to Maryland, even on that trip. Like, it broke down twice on me because he didn't really...
Right.
He wasn't really using it, but... I replaced that stuff on the way, got it back, and then getting it licensed and, getting all this stuff like up to code with the fire marshals and the health department and everything. And it costs a lot of money. But then, like, here I am, I'm like doing these like big jobs. Like, I do like, motocross events, and like, I did Budds Creek, Maryland Outdoor National.
Hell yeah.
And I made tons of money on those days.
And was it already called Loony Bin at that point?
Yeah. I kind of came up with this logo.
That.
Yeah,
I love that name, dude. That's rad. Yeah.
It all kind of happened.
Yeah.
Just kind of paying homage to, my past with the stunts and stuff.
Yeah, but it makes perfect sense.
I didn't want to put my name on it, because I hate it when people do that,
Like
still to this day.
Street Bike Barbecue, Street Bike Tommy's Barbecue.
I think it's kind of cheap. You know?
Yeah, I think Loony Bin is such a rad name. Yeah, it's cool.
Barbecue's so good, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it.
That's good, man. So you started getting into the kind of the circuit of the food truck
just
thing.
Doing events.
Yeah.
But then you realize that like it's not sustainable because like those events aren't every day, and I need everyday money. So we did a few bikini contests locally, stuff like that, which was really rad. Just did people's big events that they were personally having. Like we'd drive out and I had big stereo on the outside of it from Kicker, and I'd crank it, and not only were you getting a food truck, but you were kind of getting like entertainment at the same time. But and everybody loved it, but like I wasn't doing it every day. So we started talking to a commercial realtor about maybe finding someone with a piece of property that we could just park on the side of like a popular road or something and vend every day and just kind of like lease like just the parking space. Yeah. And that guy was actually the dude that was like, hey man, did you ever thought about a brick and mortar? And we're like, yeah, right. Because at the time, I brought on my buddy who was in the restaurant industry the whole time I was doing stunts, like childhood friend, like from high school. Yeah. I've known him since we were probably 13, 14 years old. And I brought him on as a minor partner for his knowledge and to help me get the business rolling. Because like I knew the cooking side and I knew like marketing. I can get the name out there, but like, and I can cook, but I didn't know like health department, fire department.
Right, just so he was workings of the.
He was doing all that stuff, and I needed to make money to make sure that he had some money too, and I had put every dime that I had into this truck. So like when he was like brick and mortar, we were like no chance. Yeah. No money, and he had a really good job. Like he had a job that was paying.
Your buddy that was coming over,
he moved from Colorado back to Maryland, just to kind of get it going with me. And
nice.
He left a 6-figure job. Damn. To come help me out. So I felt like really like I needed to help him out. And then like we went just to humor the land guy, like the realtor that was trying to help us find a spot to lease. We went to this restaurant to just kind of humor him. Yeah. We got there, and it was already a barbecue joint. Like, it was already a Dickey's barbecue. Like,
Mm-hmm.
So it had tables, it had chairs, it had all the equipment, and they weren't taking it with them. Like, it was kind of part of the deal that, like, it would just stay there.
Oh, nice.
And, we still needed to do a full remodel, but that was, like, that's my bread and butter because I grew up construction. Yeah. Like, I'm a commercial contractor by trade. Like,
right. So
that's what I did my whole childhood.
Yeah. You can look at the place and know what it needs and figure that out.
Yeah. So we were like, you know what? Nobody gets this opportunity to have the space that I have now would cost you about $500,000.
Damn. It's in a good location. And
great location. Yeah. Yeah. Right on the side of Route 3. It connects Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Annapolis, and it's kind of like right in the middle.
Damn. Yeah, that's perfect.
So, it all just kind of came together organically. Yeah. And it would have never happened if I was searching for any of it. You know what I mean?
I feel like that's how it works out in life when you're like you're not pushing it and then it just sort of just goes. So, question that I had is, are you using those smokers that you originally?
So
what type?
Traeger.
Was it? Traeger. Yeah.
Traeger doesn't make
commercial
unit. Yeah. To the point where like they do make one that's a really nice cabinet smoker. Mm-hmm. But I don't have like the actual space for it. My kitchen's not set up properly, but I still use them. That's my personal smoker. Like, that's what I swear by at my own house. Yeah. They're amazing. Like I've cooked enough for hundreds of people on 2 Traegers.
Oh damn.
Hundreds.
Damn. Yeah. Okay, so you can make it happen. So then so now you're kind of turning it over, and how long have you guys been open?
So creeping up on a year. Okay. October 29th. So about a month from now. Nice. We're about 11 months in right now from opening the actual hard location. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool, man. And so things are going well. Would you think of like, is the goal to go out and kind of have a couple of them, or is it just stay with that?
I would love to be a global brand.
Yeah.
That's where I see it, because just if in the atmosphere, I have like really rad memorabilia from everybody that like I've met over the years. Like, just for instance, like Travis was like the coolest dude in the world when I first opened my business. He was like really pumped for me. He actually let me take one of his very first X Games gold medal dirt bikes.
Hell yeah.
Like the actual full...
The bike?
The whole bike.
Oh, damn.
I took it out of his shop at Pastranaland, and I now have it hanging above my soda machine.
Damn, hell yeah. So you got some awesome, like...
Ken Block.
Decor. Yeah. Oh, Ken Block.
Ken Block sent me the front bumper from the Gymkhana car.
Damn.
From Terracana of the Gymkhana series. Signed the front for me, sent me a poster to go along with it of like which bumper it is.
Yeah.
And also a rim from the other car.
Hell yeah.
I got the pipe from the street bike that I overshot.
You gotta have that, dude. You gotta have
It's
that.
the only part left.
Yeah. You don't have the fur wrapped coating or anything.
So because like after I crashed, I was kind of like for a little while I kind of reset, and I was like, I'm done with all that, you know, because like, I was really broken. I was really broken.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, I'm gonna be done with that stuff. And once I got better, it was a whole nother story. But like that time on the couch was reflective.
A lot of thoughts.
Yeah. So my buddies just ended up just taking all the parts and like kind of putting them on, because I rode with a bunch of friends.
Yeah.
And they put them on their bikes, and like, because I had rad parts all over. So
yeah,
they went all over the place. But that's the part that I kept.
Do you have a bike now? Or you?
I got a chopper.
Okay.
Yeah, I got one big long.
You see, you're retired now.
Yeah. But it's all come for full circle. I still really enjoy going fast, but I kind of like to do things on my own terms. I really love travel. That's my own travel. You know.
Not touring on the grueling. That
not
can
the
get
grind.
rough. Yeah.
I just kind of want to point myself in a direction and just go see the world.
Yeah, I'm in that same boat now. Even just for work stuff, doing camera stuff, and like just taking around. I'm like, I'm not interested in it anymore, man.
Yeah.
It's like it's been a long 20 years of just on the road and that.
I get really tired of being corralled.
Yeah.
You know. It's like I'm a grown up. Like I'm a big boy. I can do it.
Yeah,
you know?
I'll figure out what I'm doing when I'm doing it.
I don't have to roll with 60 of you.
Yeah,
you know.
Exactly. So well, that's really cool, man. So the plans are hopefully sometime around February the new show will come out on Discovery Science.
Yeah, and this all just kind of happened.
Yeah,
like
that's right.
I literally had no knowledge of the show until like a month prior.
They just called you up like, yeah, we want Street Bike Tommy on there.
You know Shauna.
Yeah.
So Shauna FaceTimed me and was like, hey, what are you up to? And I'm like, sleeping? Like, what do you mean?
Yeah. You're like trying to get ready for the day.
I gotta go to work tomorrow. Like, I gotta cook for a restaurant tomorrow in the morning at 4:00, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, because like
what time was the call?
It was like, you know, probably 9:30.
Oh yeah. But you get up
East
early.
Coast.
Yeah.
But it was East Coast, so like it's
6 o'clock here. Yeah.
So, but I answered because I was like, yo, I haven't heard from Sean in forever. Like this has got to be good. So,
yeah.
You know, she cracks me up. She's good people.
Yeah.
And she said, hey, what do you feel about being on TV again? And I was like, count me in.
Yeah.
I didn't even ask what it was. You know.
Yeah.
Like she was like, I thought you had a restaurant. I was like, I'll make it work. You know, that could only help my business.
Yeah. Right.
So.
And the idea that it's like, you do it. It's not a commitment for a long period of time, really, you know.
Right. It's a quick little.
Yeah.
We can get it done.
Yeah.
And I'm actually excited to get back and get things kind of honed back in.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I got good people that work for me.
Yeah.
I got some good, like the people that work for me, they actually care about my restaurant too. Not like I do. Obviously.
Yeah, right.
But I got some good people working for me.
That's rad, dude. And I mean, and that's super important that people are psyched on it and want to see the growth of it, and
they're stoked because like they get to see people come in and because I get a bunch of my Ravens player buddies, like Matt Judon comes by.
Oh hell yeah.
Max Williams when he was there, he's now playing at Arizona.
Yeah.
Ryan Jensen.
Yeah, nice. So hell yeah. So you get So people that are working there are like, damn.
Yeah. And Travis comes in with his family all the time, man. You get all like, Addie and Bristol and all the neighborhood kids come running in there. I got free ice cream.
I saw that. That is like the smartest thing in the world.
'Cause it's really not that expensive just to fill up the ice cream machine and kind of have it out there.
Yeah.
People just kind of help themselves. I had to put a sign up that says like one per customer because I had some people coming in abusing it.
But you gotta buy some food before you get that, right?
Yeah, but I've had some people come in just straight asshole style, man.
Oh yeah. Well, that was probably us back in the day.
Can't be too mad.
Yeah. Dude, but that is brilliant. I saw it on one of your posts, and I was like, damn, that's the smartest thing in the world. I'm like, I want to go there now just because of the free ice cream machine. But I actually want to go because I need to taste that brisket.
Food's so good, dude. You're gonna love it. But yeah, man, and an opening day, man, I was so pumped. Wee Man and Preston.
Yeah,
Preston actually came down.
I saw that. Yeah. I talked to Jason, the Wee Man. About that. He's like, damn, they just ended up there, and
he was so cool about it, man. Like those guys, like they were doing their comedy tour. Yeah. And they happened to be in New York, and they drove down from New York.
Damn.
To come do, check out the rest on my opening day, dude. That was like the greatest surprise ever.
Oh yeah, it's perfect.
I love those guys, man. And Bam came down. And then he also had me come up to his house with my food truck.
Oh yeah.
And then I've had all kinds.
You still have the truck? Or?
Yeah. So I drove the truck back. Huge weight off my shoulders. After opening the restaurant, I didn't move it. It hadn't moved just because I had all my focus.
Yeah, right. Kind of probably what happened for him too, right? Because he has that restaurant, and so then.
And so I wasn't able to pay him a big outstanding lump sum of money for the truck. So I drove it back out, and he was pretty good about he was cool about it. Because I had put so much money into the truck, and he's just a really cool guy. Yeah. Totally understanding. I would not have my business without him.
Yeah.
Would not.
That's awesome, man.
So I mean, I owe a lot to that guy.
Yeah.
Cam's my guy.
Yeah, that's rad. Yeah. That's cool, man. Well, shit, look out for Street Bike Tommy's show, The Explosion Show, that's going to be coming out on Discovery Science. And if you're in the Maryland area, you got to go to Loony Bin BBQ.
Get that free ice cream.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm excited to check it out, and I got to get that good eats.
Dude, I appreciate the time on the show, man. This has been rad. And like I said, man, nothing but praise, because I also owe you a lot. Not kidding. You may not feel it, but it's been a pleasure, because I everything that I'm doing now today, it all stems from sitting around at my house with my friends, seeing what you guys were doing.
Oh, dude, that means a lot. So I'll have to do a little bit of a Kiki voice for you. Come on, Street Bike Tommy. Don't go wrecking your motorcycle. Dude. Grandma won't know who you are. Hell yeah, brother.
That was everything.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, man.
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you.